All right. What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. Link will be in the description box below, as usual. This video is entitled Ways Black Leadership Has Failed. Um, in lieu of a few things I saw yesterday before I went to sleep, and some things I saw this morning. So, we saw that the scandal at Howard. You see the backlash from the Aretha Franklin funeral. There's an article about Bob Johnson, the brother that used to own BET, how he they basically technically put him out of a hotel because they wanted him to take off his sunglasses when he walked in. But he owns like 160 hotels, so he knew that was a BS thing. But so I want to get into this discussion because when we talk about leadership, the person is the people or persons who are in position to guide their immediate the people who are under them, guide them to a better future, or that's who you have to follow their lead. So this is going to be different things. So first and foremost, I'm going to start with the black church because of this funeral. Now, what this dude did at this funeral overshadowed everything else the other preachers did, but it highlights something. He was there for a eulogy, but he didn't make it about the person that died. That's a problem. And why I say the black church has failed the black community because of this. See, we look at the church, as which once was an offshoot of the civil rights movement, and some people think that Martin Luther King was just a leader, and he was not appointed. He was actually appointed to be a leader by a group. He was basically voted in to be the young face and voice of the movement. So when we look at the church, we're looking at it from that past sense and not the present sense, where you just got a bunch of rogue, greedy individuals who are out for self. Maybe grandfathered in. And when you look at the state of the black community, the church was there before the games. What does that tell you? The church makes more money than the athletes and the entertainers, and haven't done something for the community, and they are in the community. What does that tell you? It tells you that they failed the black community because they've been out for self. The church sees its own members struggling in life. The church opens businesses, but they don't necessarily outside of the church. But do they employ people in the church that are looking for employment? No. That same tithes and offerings that they make, we never ask, what is this church money actually going to? If you got money for a helicopter, for a jet, for a mansion, for high-end luxury cars, you got enough money to open up business. You got enough money to employ some of the people who are looking for employment. Just saying. With money that you collected from these various people. And part of the and when we look at other groups of people, their families come together at times. Sometimes if they do get 7 years free for no taxes when they get here. They do get preferential treatment with banks, but they also have a family structure that pools their money together. The church pools money together, but doesn't do anything with it, thus exacerbating this problem. Okay? And I'll go back a little bit. When I say he was appointed, the same way that Malcolm X became the face of the movement, but he was propped up by the nation, that's the same thing that happened with Martin. And that was the same reason why the Black Panthers decided to have multiple leaders, because they didn't want somebody to be the particular face of the movement and then be a target and they don't know what's coming after. They knew that everybody could run the ship. Now, that's why those guys wind up, they couldn't attack them the same. They just started locking people up, the political prisoner part. Now, who else failed was the black businessmen and women, but mostly businessmen. The reason that they failed because of the Bob Johnson thing I'm talking about. You know, these people wanted to integrate or wanted to cash out, but they never sold to black people. You know, you ask a lot of black businessmen who are in business to sell their business off, they're looking to build up a brand and sell it off to some white people for a huge price. They're not looking to sell it to black people. And then they turn around and they got it, and then they get older and they deal with the same racism that they tried to be insulated from with their money, and then their children wind up dealing with the same issues, but they don't have any black businesses to go to. You sold yours. And you didn't sell yours to a person that looks like you. That's what other communities do. They sell their businesses off too, but they sell businesses normally off to people who look like them. That way, at least the community can benefit from it. So you fail the black community, you know. And then these very people sometimes are the ones complaining about, I want to get my business back. You're not getting it back, yo. You sold it. You shouldn't have did that. The black politicians failed because, but they're politicians, so, that's what politicians do. Politicians talk good and they lie to their constituents, and then they use that leverage for a payday. But that's what black politicians did. And then, we got to play the game, but a lot of these politicians aren't playing the game for their constituents. They're playing the game for themselves. And you can't turn around and say, "Oh my God, look at the community." Well, you part of the reason. You in the room. You at the table. You're not even coming back to the community to tell them what they need to do to add more people to the room so you can get things done. If that's their problem, so you failed the community. These are ways. Black parents, you failed the community. And I say the parents in general because nowadays there's more separated families than together, right? So what happens is parents are too busy going tit for tat than they are raising the kids, and thus leaving the kids to figure it out for themselves. So the kids fail. The family fails because it's no unity. So where there's no unity, there's no direction. That's a fail. I gotta go back a little bit to the older men. You failed the community. Now people talk about the guys who left their families. I get yeah. The ones who just left, who just up and left and ran from responsibility, you failed the community. Plus, you guys who walked around telling young boys it was cool to have multiple women in multiple places, and that was normal, and now they grew up as grown men, and this was what they do. And now you want, but I don't want a guy like you dating my baby. Y'all were the kind of guys that told him that was cool. So now y'all don't want him to be your daughter's boyfriend or husband because he's going to do to your daughter what you told him to do to other girls except for your daughter. The women failed, because you don't see the women who talk about, feminism and empowerment from the past tell these young ladies where they were wrong. So now it exacerbates the situation because they told these women was like, yeah, y'all don't need men, y'all don't need yada, 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 yada. You don't need them, you don't want them, they beneath you, yada, yada, yada. And when it failed, they walked away and left these women holding the bag. And all they can do is blame the men, but they don't even want to look at the women who put this ideology in their head. So, and those women are comfortable with fading the black and never taking responsibility for that. Use man, get all the money you can from them, and then empower yourselves to go do nothing. Okay, failure. Uh, Ironically, I gotta bring up you gang leaders. The big homie. The big homie what? You know, you fail the community because you taught kids to go around and be criminals. You know, and then y'all phased out, and now y'all want to walk off, just like the ladies I was talking about with the feminism. Y'all, you want to teach guys how to, teach me the motherfucking game goes. Oh, but now you don't want your kids coming up in that. Oh, okay, okay. But now you want other brothers to come along and help you fix the community that you helped destroy, kid by kid, family by family. And oh, we was locked up in the prison industrial complex. No, 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 don't we me. You got locked up. You was on that shit. The prison is not a club. It's not a club. It's not. That's it. Hey, at Clinton Max Correctional Facility tonight, we're giving out $1 shots of all liquor. All you got to do is commit a felony, and it's free to get in. Like, no, you did that. But then you don't want to go. A lot of you guys fail because you don't want to go back to the community and get these kids out of the very gangs that you are still connected to. You ain't got to be active in it, but you're still connected to. You're not teaching them a better way. So, that leadership failed. Fathers failed to prepare our children for the real world out there. Mothers failed to prepare children for the real world out there. And institutions failed. Because I had to bring up the Howard thing because guess what? That ain't the first time that's happened. I talked about this before. These institutions, are set there for us to be a more successful, productive group. But we can't benefit from it because we got people in these institutions and systems who want to screw everybody over to get the bag, aka get the money. Now, how many people have y'all put out of school or couldn't get into school, or you stole their loan money, hypothetically speaking, that how many lawyers, doctors, engineers, farmers have we turned away in the last 20 something years, who wanted to just get an education to better themselves, who actually had a dream and direction that you fuckers ruined because you wanted some new clothes and a newer model car and some jewelry, because that's basically what y'all was doing. And this ain't the first time. I said the story on one of my earlier videos. My first semester, when I first went to Southern, I was driving from New Orleans to Baton Rouge, and it was on the radio that one of the ladies in the department got arrested at the casino because she was spending $70,000 worth of people's student money. So that's $70,000 worth of student tuition. Of students getting into school that was just blown out of the casino. And she wasn't the only person doing shit like that. It's rampant at pretty much every college. But I'm talking about us. And then we wonder why the community suffers, because if you look at it, when you look at quote unquote STEM, science, technology, education, mathematics, a lot of your medical professionals usually have some time at an HBCU if they're black. Lawyers, actually, if they're black. Some of the engineers, if they're black. They'll go to these HBCUs and then maybe get their master somewhere else. Or vice versa, depending on the curriculum at certain schools. So we fail the community. You institutions failed. And then they sit around and talk about what about this and what about that and why is it this? Like, we know why. Because it's all this rogue leadership. So, we out. Peace.